Offer to go live. Okay, go live. Oh, all right. Well, it's live, and I was trying to connect Instagram. I'm telling you. Oh, I don't want to start out bitching about Meta first thing on a Monday, but that seems to be what happens. I am. Oh, there we go. Oh, it is live, but it is me with my little eyeballs. That's hilarious. So that's kind of cracking me up. So we'll figure that out for the next time. So the people that are watching on Instagram, my little eyeballs are right there in that thing. I think that's oh so funny. And I'm trying to move over here. Oh my gosh. Technology. Woo! Let's get over that. I am going to uh share today. Let's retire a couple of words. One of them resilience, so 2023, and authentic, which I'll talk about authentic tomorrow. I want to talk about resilience. I was listening to a book. I heard them speak. Gosh, it's been 3 years ago, I guess. And of course, resilience has just been this buzzword. I love it when we get these zeitgeist buzzwords. Don't y'all love that? When, as I think I shared on one of the videos last week about Riz, the kids, and shows is Riz. I don't know. There's so many words out there that are, they're so passe, and yet we get attached to them because we are this community of collectiveness, of we want to be in community, which is fine. We want to be in the tribe. And yet there is this whole idea about this word resilience. So I want to give you some other things to think about today, because resilience for me, and the way people talk about it, it feels very performative. Like I got through it. I'm so tough. I survived. I struggled through it. I pushed through it. And you know me, I'm talking about the feminine. That's a very masculine energy. Nothing wrong with the guys. Please, when I say masculine and feminine, don't put that in a gender. There's so much conversation about gender. Let's over here. Energy. Feminine energy is about connection and communication and flow. So today I wanted to give you some new words to begin to think about and put it in a context of resilience. Really is just like bouncing back from something, right? You go through a thing. I managed to get through it and I came out on the other side. And in the resilience model, it's the same person. You got through it. And that's not what's happening, especially in our world. So I invite you to check out my podcast. I did a very extended version of this it's going to be uploaded here in a little bit. And check out the podcast anyways, because it's got so many great interviews with amazing women, with amazing men, with people that are changing the world. And they're not just changing the world because that's their mission. They're changing themselves. And by that process, they change the world. So I want to talk about that from this perspective of these new ideas that replace this idea of resilience. And the first thing I want to share is alchemization. I love that word forever. I don't know why I'm so attracted to science these days, and yet alchemy, alchemization. If you think about the nature is so beautiful for us and it gives us so many great metaphors. You think about the butterfly. Now, so many times there are some conversations that aren't passe, but yet they're so simple that we get lost and we poo-poo them. One of them being that when uh, the the mask drops down in an airplane, do yourself first, blah blah blah. I'll take care of yourself first. These things, we literally, I just kind of threw it away with that conversation. And the butterfly conversation of the metamorphosis, which is an alchemization. Think about alchemization as turning something from one thing into another. They used to alchemize metal into gold, and it's the same thing. It's the same DNA, it's the same structure, and yet it comes out differently. And so does a butterfly. So uh, mm, the caterpillar goes into the cocoon. And if you know anything about how that process works, you know that it just completely liquefies itself in that cocoon. It completely changes the structure of it, but it's the same DNA, it's the same molecules. And just when you alchemize metal into gold, it's the same thing, and it's now alchemized into something new. That's what I think they're trying to communicate with resilience, but this is completely on a different level. This is your rebirthing. This is your newness. Another word you can use is transmuted. You're transmuted from one thing to another when you go through these incredible experiences that we have on this planet. And I find it so fascinating that because we live in this world of duality, we're constantly looking for how to get out of our uncomfortableness, right? Out of pain, out of trauma, out of drama, out of the fire, when the reality is those are the experiences that reshape us, reforge us, which is another great word. Reforging, transmuting whatever this was that has the same molecular makeup, but it's now different. It's in a form that is not recognizable necessarily to the outside world, but you know from an internal process that that is who you are now. That is the rebirthing of you. Another great word to think about using is tempered. Once you temper something, you reforge it with fire, or you temper it, whether it be glass or metal, you're making it stronger. So you come out of these experiences as something new, something deeper, something beautiful beyond anything you've ever imagined. And you've all heard of the idea of Phoenix, the Phoenix rising. Maybe you want to start saying, I've been phoenixed. My whole life is different and transformed. And because we are in 2026, because I believe, as do a whole lot of women, especially on this planet, but men as well, that this age of Aquarius, the number one year in numerology, the uplifting of feminine energy on this planet is beyond anything you could ever imagine. It is happening in a way that some people, I'm not saying all people, some people perceive as they don't want it because it appears to be burning of the ashes from the phoenix, or being tempered, being put in through the fire, alchemized, or as the butterfly goes. Can you imagine the butterfly, or the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, and it's in there, and all of a sudden it starts to liquefy. It just completely breaks it. It starts breaking down, and it's in there going, I never signed up for this. Like, I didn't know this. You told me this was going to be a fun experience. I was going to get wings. I was going to turn into these beautiful colors. Oh, we have to go through this forging, this tempering, this transmuting, this alchemization. We have to we have to become phoenixed in order to be the people that we came here to be. Why is that? Because we all have come in and been given this playbook for this planet that is broken. It just is broken. It's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you can't say, oh, that's not true. That's not the truth of who I am. That's not who I choose to be. I don't need to be angry. I don't need to be judgmental. I don't need to be in fear. I don't need to compete. I mean, all of those things are fun for games. But when you start to bring them in as that's your way of life, you are sending out energy that will not give you back that which you say you desire. I promise you. And we are getting that experience on this planet in a really interesting way. And I find it fascinating that people are not wanting to embrace whatever is happening on any given occasion. It doesn't matter whether it's 2026 or 1955 or during the Great Depression. We There are cycles on the planet. This is Mother Earth. She's a cyclical, rhythmic being. Mother Gaia is feminine, and she's like, what is going on here? Let's all pay attention. This is how life works. This is how nature works. And when we begin to imagine how we can bring our natural state of beingness into this world that is transformed, because the world has transformed. Have you noticed? I mean, there's so many things that we can do now that we never could do before. I heard a man on, he was at the Consumer Electronics. mm, there's a convention in Las Vegas. It was over the weekend. They were talking about some of the incredible advancements of AI, which blow my mind. Blow my mind. We have gone from dial up literally to broadband in a year because time and space are moving so fast. And he was talking about that these programs that they've designed with this AI, and the beauty of AI, I love AI. I use it all day, every day for various reasons. And I'm using a very simplified version of it. Very simplified. I'm asking it questions to research sometimes, but it has this medical capacity that is beyond anything I could have ever dreamt of. So he's talking about over the last 40 years, they were able to identify this for the medical world, these mini proteins. I think he said 4,000. I swear to you, I'm going to probably tell you the wrong numbers, but it's such a big jump. It doesn't really matter. So if they found 40 or identified 4,000 proteins since the last 40 years, and then in the last year, less than a few months, they've identified all of them through this AI program. So it would take a human being this long to do something. And these computers, this AI does it in a heartbeat, which here's the thing about AI. And I say this all the time. It is transforming us. It is alchemizing us, transmuting us, reforging us, tempering us, and phoenixing us in ways that we can't even imagine if we allow it. I think it was interesting that this gentleman, the reporter asked him, well, what about if all these people are going to lose their jobs? Because if you have any conversation around I mean, they started out a year or two ago saying that 25% of white collar, entry level white collar jobs would disappear in 5 years. I think it's sooner than that. And here's the thing is that when what he said was when personal computers came out way back in the day, that it everyone thought, oh, this is going to change the world. Everybody's going to be out of jobs and blah blah blah. All the naysayers, all the doomslayers. Because honestly, if you stay in that camp of everything is bad, you will continue to see that. If you stay in the camp of everything is working in my favor, and by the way, you want to get my audio on that, it's 6 minutes and it is a way to start your day. I have started doing it every single day since since December 25th. It is remarkable. And I digress. One of the things that's really important is that as he's talking about these personal computers, things have transformed in a way that it actually created more jobs because we are in a evolution planet. If you know anything about science, we've evolved from wherever that was to over here to where we are today. And it's through all of these ideas that are created through this cerebral cortex thing that we have in our heads. It's amazing. And to take all of that, and then as if we could have harnessed all of the knowledge, all of the scientists into one little mainframe computer, whatever, and bring it all together, that's what we've done. So here is what that says is that in 5 years, number one, you won't recognize the world that we live in. My feeling is that we are going to now begin to focus on all of those things that Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the one down in the bottom was survival. We won't have to think about that anymore. And it isn't about everybody's going to get free shit. Sorry. We're going to be able to know that we are creating our own world. We are creating our own experience, and we are in charge of our happiness. And we can use these things called AI in so many different ways to enhance who we are, to become the version of us that was really meant to be here and stop paying attention to survival mode, because survival mode is what keeps you stuck. Survival mode is what keeps you in fear. And when you go through transformations like traumatic experiences or you're in the fire, you have cancer, you have a death, you have a relationship that was betrayed, you were betrayed, all of those things, they're not about you being resilient. They're about you being alchemized or transmuted or reforged or tempered or phoenixed into this newness. And in that newness, you are wiser. You make different choices. You have this lived knowingness, this lived authority that you can actually share with others. So the beauty of 2026 is that resilience, boom, out. Authentic, boom, out. Let's look at what are you transforming into? What are you alchemizing? What are you transmuting? What are you reforging yourself with? How are you tempering your everyday? And most of all, how are you phoenixing every day? Oh my gosh, how are you rising from your own ashes? The thing about this life is it's not it's not real. You make it real by how you observe it. Go back to quantum physics. How are you observing it? What do you want to see? If you want to see pain and gloom and doom and horror and hatred and uh, 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 everything that's all those low vibrational energies, you are free to do that. Absolutely. No question about it. And yet, if you want to see from these high vibration, energetic, vibrational forces, that good, that connection, that community, that oneness, that every single set of eyes that you ever look into are the eyes of God. That really is what it amounts to. If we can get to that place, and it isn't about a religious God, it's about the oneness God, about the consciousness, about the universal presence that is everywhere, all the time, ever present, omnipresent. It's everywhere, all the time. You are one with it, you create from it, and you can use the power that is this universal oneness. So, what a great way to start your week. Just contemplate today how you are alchemized from whoever you were last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, how you've transmuted, how you've reforged yourself. And if you're not doing these things, you may be in resilience or stuck. So allow that fire to burn through you, to temper you, and get phoenixed. So see you tomorrow.